but they had the same amount of information when they picked the Nature's Prophet to begin with.
Yeah.
They don't see any extra heroes. They've only bought themselves some time, so let's see what they're going to do. They ban out the Kunkka, which would give LGD insane team fight, and it's a maybe special.
Yeah, and it's a Drow Ranger.
Drow strat.
So that's a miracle Drow, which means it's a wee Ember, and you're pushing either Pugna or Nature's Prophet into the 3
It
roll.
is a 3 Pugna. It's one of Mind Control's favorite heroes, so it will be Kuroki playing the support Furion, unless they put support Pugna.
Yeah, that's what I was
possible.
thinking. Like, I've seen Kuro do it before. Kuro has played the Pugna before. And that would be the way it would go too, because ET is still going to be played by GH. But how do they lane this then?
This feels like a 6 Storm game for maybe. I think he really wants Storm.
Do you think he'll have enough time though?
There's
Like,
plenty of fragile targets. They have the stuns. They have the team fight to set him up for success. It's one of his favorite heroes. He can jump the backline, which is really what it's all about against heroes like Pugna and Drow.
but if
they
he
have to
doesn't
be
have
considering
immunity
it.
though, like and Drow hits the gust, he could be like really heavily
For sure.
trapped.
There's always the danger of that happening. Okay, totally different direction. This
Counter
is-
the team fight into a farm kind of lane. Sure.
This is another hero that's really good
it's
against Drow.
It's
in
actually a
different
wee
way.
Drow, Miracle Ember,
And Kuro.
and Kuro Pugna. So Mind Control is the Nature's Prophet, and that puts GH and ET.
Okay, so this Naga Siren pick is also really good, because if this game extends long enough, they have very few tools of dealing with the illusions. It's a very common counter pick when Drow started getting popular. People started experimenting with Naga Siren, because if there's one thing Drow's bad at, is killing multiple targets at once, until she's like 6 slotted and has the Tesla build. It's hard to deal with the Naga.
Hey, she's fantastic once you have Aghanim Scepter and the Mjolnir. Like then you can kill multiple targets at once.
But it takes a while.
It takes a very long time.
And maybe we'll be playing a mid-gyro. That's kind of No One-esque from the past. Mainly No One stands out to me as a mid-gyro player, but yeah, okay.
Well,
so
for me, the original was Fada.
that's true. He was playing it a lot too.
He was the original. He was the one who was like, I'm just going to skill homing missile, max that first.
So we've been talking about Liquid as this, like, in this phase where they're kind of showing all sorts of things, and there's not like any. This isn't necessarily weakness, by the way. Playing a lot of different stuff can be a strength if it's done well, and it can be a weakness if it feels like you are struggling to find your groove.
You mean like they're just drafting this because they need to push game? Like push game is the game you go to when it's like, well, I don't know what other game I should be playing right now.
It's like, I'm not judging. I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm just saying what we've talked about. This is even more new stuff from Liquid. They're playing a Drow strat. They're playing a support Pugna. There's a lot of new stuff being pulled out here, so I feel like either this is going to look amazing or it's going to fall flat. And judging from how Liquid's tournament has been going so far, I think there's reason to be a little bit concerned for them, but let's see how they pull this off. Their laning is something very special in this game.
I love these pitches. I don't think these are the right lenses.
But we do have Mind Control in the Nature's Prophet, which is an absolute treat. He is exceptionally good at this hero.
Yeah, what is that face
might
from
be his
GH?
absolute best. Support Pugna? That's his face for support.
That's just his face.
Are you sure, Kuro? Yeah. LGD, I think it's fair to say they have more of like a straightforward draft in a sense. Like this is more standard for the draft, or for the meta right now. It's more standard for how they usually play. What I would like to see out of Liquid to try to execute this strategy is tempo. Like, you got to play fast. You have a Pugna, a Nature's Prophet, and a Drow. You want to start taking towers. You want to limit the map from the enemy, because if you don't and they start farming up on Naga and Gyro, I really don't favor you later in the game. Like, there's this mid-game timing that you have to hit. Get auras, get like pipe against the Gyro and all the magic damage from the other heroes, and see what you can get done. Well, let's see how this goes with the laning, because you know, whenever you have a support Pugna, the laning is always a little bit spicy.
And I actually want to see how LGD handle it. We've spent a lot of time talking about like Liquid, mainly because we've seen these guys a hell of a lot, and we know they've got a lot to really try and prove at the moment. But how's the combination work with LGD? SD as well as Lion. It feels like they can always just catch at anyone they want. And X-Nova and FY are just sitting on bottom lane, trying to make Mind Control's life an absolute living hell, which is normally the job of the Nature's Prophet. Like, we've seen Blightstones with just Treants harassing out all the supports in the lane. But at the moment, X-Nova and FY, they're just messing up the lane so Ame gets a really great off-lane Naga.
Yeah, so what's happening here is they're zoning off the Nature's Prophet, and they're blocking his own creep wave so it gets into tower. And what that will do is it will force the wave to get pushed out really quickly. And now that Mind Control has TP scrolled down here, if they wanted to lane swap, they could do it right now because the Nature's Prophet's here. However, once he gets level 2, of course, he can skill teleportation. So they put some good pressure. GH is going to arrive bottom to try to help. He wants to face the tri-lane so he can get most value out of his Astral Spirit. And because of that, LGD are like, nope, we don't want a tri-lane after all, so we're going to send the Shadow. So.
Yeah, well, let the Naga Illusions do their work on the bottom instead.
Yeah, oh, some decent damage being done to GH bottom. Not too shabby.
Yeah, he's got a lot to work with, though. Still got the Stout Shield, and Mind Control's got the Ring of Basilius up and running already.
I think this is a good start for Liquid as far as the lane placement goes, though. I think they wanted to avoid Nature's Prophet against Tide, and it was a bit of a rock, paper, scissors thing.
God, GH is really not giving up on FY. Trying to beat the crap out of him underneath the tower. One quick Earth Spike's going to at least keep GH under the tower. He's not going to go under the tier 2, however. No matter how hard he thinks he can push that, Lion's still got boots and still has really good movement speed. I'm interested to see how Wee does in mid. It's always a fun thing with the Drow Ranger when you're actually able to run the mid because you're guaranteed to get these very fast levels up and running.
Yeah, the level 6 in the past was obviously extremely powerful for the Ancients, but now that that's changed, I'm curious how they're going to approach it, if they will still put Weeha in the jungle on Drow and just farm big camps, or if they're going to try to use him a little bit still for lane pushing. This is a hero we don't see very much lately. Has it even been picked TI until this? I have not seen a Drow game at TI until this one. Out of all the games I have watched. We haven't watched every single game, but we've seen a big sample, and it has been picked, we're being told. Okay.
We have an area, yeah.
It has been picked. Maybe once, then.
God, FY, don't be down that far. The Earth Spike again, trying to create a little bit of extra space, but GH has the movement speed. That's to be first blood. Perfect hit, perfect block, and that's first blood going the way of GH, and Arme even being body blocked up by these trees. This is why you love watching Mind Control on Nature's Prophet. He makes life so hard while Charles will go down to Miracle. Up on the top, another spike. GH in a little too deep underneath the tower. He'll die to the tier 2. And FY would like to go for a little bit more, hitting into Mind Control. He'll need his Spike back in order to get this kill, but he's got full mana, and that's going to be Hex as well as Spike. But Mind Control, enough life and enough armor. He just backs up.
Yeah, FY backed off because the Elder Titan TP'd. He felt like if he was going to chase for that kill, it would end up costing him, so he plays it safe. Nature's Prophet will TP back with the scroll, and then TP back to the lane with a teleportation spell. One thing that only this hero can do this early on in the game. Obviously no boots of travel available to anyone 3 minutes in, but this guy can technically play like he has boots of travel, so very nice. Yeah, that was excellent body block from Mind Control, and the Impale from, or the Earth Spike from Lion when he came back just as good.
GH is doing so much damage again. Up with the 61. Just runs in, tries to use the side camp, but the Hex is from FY. This is the upside about this Lion. The double levels of control through the Hex as well as the Earth Spike. X-Nova would like to get a bit of a crack in towards mid, but he's right underneath the Radiant Observer Ward, so that means Liquid know there is an opening up on top lane.
Yeah. There's some cool synergy between Flame Guard and Decrepify, but unfortunately then you can't slide a fist or attack meanwhile, so...
You'll have to do better than that.
Is we actually global taunting X-Nova at the moment, even though like he then reveal the Observer Wards there?
He might be.
It's like, you've got to do better than that. Don't just stand, just getting no experience whatsoever near the mid lane. Because this is a waste of an SD. He's been waiting here for a good minute now for an opportunity on Weeha, and Weeha's not giving it to him.
Yeah, Weeha at the same time is also winning the lane. So he's doing an excellent job on this Drow mid. This is not a matchup I have very much experience with, so I don't know how it's expected to go, but always feels good to be up 500 gold without getting a kill at 5 minutes. He must have forced out a couple of salves on Somnus, I guess, with just flat out right clicks with the Frost Arrows.
Because the CS isn't that different. Like, it's 21.5 to 25.8.
Yeah, exactly. It's 4 CS difference, but 500 net worth, so there's got to be some healing salves involved.
Well, here's the Bounty Rune contest. So Ember will take the one up on top. SD, for all that long wait, he was able to claim the other Bounty Rune. So it still ends up being a straight up 2-2.
Oh,
they're going again. FY solo at live GH, plus 101. I think, yeah, 159 damage is enough to get a kill on a support Lion.
Yep.
And there's not a lot Arme can do about it. Like, you start to wonder, like, do you need that extra control point? Just 1 point in snare for obviously diving Elder Titan time and time again.
It could be pretty good value, actually. You know, we've talked about this before with Naga Siren, how the trade-off is if you skill and snare, you farm a bit less, but it gives you some other play potential. Nice juke from Mami.
They are coming for
no idea
we.
which one is real.
They are coming for we. FY's around the back. X-Nova's there as well. The Observer Ward was already placed.
Gyro 6.
And we 100% knows that something is wrong. He can scan if he wants to, but...
He could also ult chat. You have to do better than that.
GH is making another run on bottom lane. Arme is just being forced out. And this is exactly what they wanted though. Fortification being burnt. Kuro would just keep like level 2 nether blasting out. While up on top lane, goodbye Chalice. The jump in the back lines. X-Nova will be able to get disruption off. Combining with the call down. Somnus has arrived. Miracles actually, sorry. Yeah, that TP out will not happen in time.
It's important they get this return kill because the supports are spending so much time not accomplishing anything around this mid area.
And FY actually getting his Earth Spike out over on Nature's Prophet. Arme was staying right on top of mind control. It felt for a moment like the Sprout was meant to be the initiation onto FY, but it turned the other direction, and mind control will have to burn the south.
We're going to have to put Chalice mid since Gyro TP top, so he will be leaning against Drow as tied for a bit.
And how much damage can FY really take? GH comes in, and here we go again. Plus 162 damage, he just needs to hit once to kill off FY at this point.
That's a very quick safe lane tower, or off-lane tower rather, taken. LGD lose their off-lane tower minute 7, and that...
But you're expecting this though when you have a Prophet as well as a Pugna.
Even though you have Prophet and Pugna, it's still fast, because this tower is generally not that easy to push. Maybe you would expect them to take another tower on the map, like the top tower usually is the one to fall first, but with this rotation onto the Nature's Prophet's lane, it's just a very natural move, and they know that Gyro doesn't have TP to defend since he's top. Speaking of top, by the way, oh, he mistimed it, just barely. The homing missile hit during the disruption for just a moment, and they can't get the kill. That would
now mind control is going to arrive. Somnus, the ET Stomp's going to put him to sleep. He's instantly woken up again. As the cooldown creates some level of space. Hex from FY, he's going to arrive with a follow-up Earth Spike. Miracle will go down. X-Nova will lose his life for this too. As FY drains GH dry. Yeah, the attention definitely moved up towards top lane as mind controls arrived. And everyone's just enjoying this plus a 61 attack speed. Obviously, everyone apart from the Elder Titan, but that's the other way where you're able to just push down these towers.
Yeah, we definitely shouldn't forget the impact of the Drow Aura for pushing the towers too when he activates that for the range creeps and for the siege creeps. At 10 minutes, Liquid will absolutely be looking for minimum 1 tower, maybe even 2 when the siege creeps start coming out, so keep an eye on that, and keep an eye on mind control, because I feel like Liquid will want to come back to him top very soon.
They're going after Miracle.
But for now, yep.
They want him before he's level 6. FY's coming in from the side. They can easily get the Hex and the follow-up's done. Even a Ravage being triggered, stopping the Elder Titan, making sure nothing was going to come out from his stomp. FY, however, GH has hit so hard, plus 166 damage, because all the heroes got hit by that as mind control beats into Chalice. But that's Chalice. That's a huge-ass Tidehunter.
It's a huge mistake, too. That's just flat-out miscommunication from LGD. They full-on stacked the Earth Spike and the Ravage, so they ended up not having enough stun duration to take out Miracle, and then they also lose a hero in the process, getting killed off by the Elder Titan. That is really bad news for them.
And because Ravage is down, like that's the one thing that would have stopped Team Liquid from pushing.
Yeah, now they're just like, cool. No Ravage, let's go mid. Let's go top after.
X-Nova's going to make a copy of a copy of a copy. Mind control. I've already taken the tower, however, so all this does is just make Liquid think twice, like, do they want to keep going into the tier 2?
I feel like they'll go top, or at least 1 or 2 heroes will go up there. For now, it's mind control going up and probably going to be spawning some treants, and then see if he can get the tower on his own, if LGD even want to try to defend. Honestly, I just love this from Liquid. I think, you know, you've committed to this pushing style. You have to play it like this, and the enemy team picks Naga, you double down on it. You go as fast as possible, and they're playing very aggressive Dota right now.
I was thinking X-Nova would actually try and do something about this, and all he does is throw down a defensive Observer Ward. In case Liquid want to get a little over-aggressive while up on top, mind control, Somnus and FY working together nicely.
He didn't think they were going to try to defend and catch him out there, but they did. It's going to cost them a bounty rune, though.
It's really good, though, for FY. Now he can get a little bit of space up on top, he can get his 6, so that kind of roaming gang can happen a little faster.
It actually cost them 2 bounty runes. Liquid got 3, and 1 treant denied the 4th one. So, mind control's death actually kind of was just flat out worth it.
And LGD are in defensive mode now. Somnus has just gone jungle. Chalice has gone jungle. The supports are the ones that have to stand inside the lane trying to get that level 6s because they need the purge against the Ember Spirit, and they need the finger, which Lion now does have.
The finger is really useful this game.
As long as he can avoid Netherward, then yeah, he'll be very happy.
Even then, it's a support Pugna. The level of Netherward is not going to be high until very late into the game, and you know, Finger is only 200 mana level 1. It starts being really scary on level 2 Finger, because the mana cost goes up so high. But level 1 Finger is not that bad. You can cast all your spells during Pugna Warda's line without dying. He has Tranquil Boots, is going to start healing up after. It's alright.
So is it worth keeping Finger at a lower level?
Maybe very situationally. I mean, the cooldown reduction is really important.
We're about to have a big fight up on top. The wraparound from Somnus as well as X-Nova. Put their Observer Wards down, and now Drow Ranger into the call down with the first Weehound. Won't be able to walk away from this one. He tried to TP, but that won't work either. With the flat cannon damage, GH in mind control back under the T1 town. They are in relative safety, but Kuro's caught on the wrong side of the tracks, running away through that dire Observer Ward. But X-Nova and FY can't close the distance. Meanwhile, Mind Control and Miracle make the most of that on bottom lane. They're pushing the tier 2 tower. Song of the Siren's already been burnt from Ame. It allowed him to escape back out. So he can't just instantly attack in, but FY still can't do that much. He doesn't have Finger. And there's no instance, so there's no real fear for Team Liquid on this bottom lane either.
Yeah, I still think you're happy here with your LGD. You need to buy time, right? It's a Naga game if you defend your towers, and it is a good Naga game, not only a Naga game. It's not like pick Naga and just play safe and then you win. You know, it's not that simple, but in this game it is a really good Naga game. So if you enable Ame to get toward 2 or 3 key items and you buy time and protect the towers that you can, you're doing all you need to do. You don't need to find a lot of kills. You don't necessarily need to use your cooldowns perfectly. You just need to use them for something meaningful, right? And this Finger kill on the Drow was totally fine. It's going to cost them the top 2 on tower. This tower will fall in this game. You're not going to be able to hold that.
Yeah.
It's the next ones that you want to try to defend. Maybe even top tier 2. By the way, I want to point out Chalice's item progression. 300 gold from a dagger. So that's kind of an aggressive approach. As a team that wants to play kind of defensively, a lot of the times you would see Tide build like a wall build. You just get super tanky and stand in front so they can't push towers, but they want to take fights when they have Ravage.
As you said, like, you got to hold the tier 2 towers, right? You need some level of initiation. That's one thing LGD doesn't really have. They've got Song of the Siren, but that requires Team Liquid to be caught out of position.
Yeah, the alternative would have been to go, you know, really defensive item build, right? And just stand in front of the tower. If they try to go for it, you run in, you anchor smash, you gush someone, and there's a little bit of a follow-up from a call down or a lion stun or whatever, and the enemy team has to back off. But this is a much more aggressive way of thinking that they kind of want to, when they get this dagger, I think they want to try a team fight, more or less 4 and 5, just because Gyro is so strong at this point in the game. He also went for a timing build with the early drum, so kind of you have drum phase and 2 Wraith Bands. It doesn't get much more early mid-game centric than this as far as builds go.
They're really trying to use Gyro as bait up on top so SD and Lion can go together, but the TPs come to bottom lane. The tier 2 tower under attack. Mind Control is just holding back but letting his trees do the work.
When Flame Guard is down, he can't kill Naga Illusion, so you need to make the most of it. Ame is doing a good job at spreading them out and delaying this as much as possible instead of keeping them together. And you know, Liquid are not really accomplishing anything right now. They're getting farm on their Drow, which is fine, but this game is not really only about this gold graph and how much you're ahead. It's about like the flow of the game, right? Some games you can be 10k gold behind and be winning, and other games it's the other way around. And this doesn't feel like the game where if this tempo just continues for the next 10 or 15 minutes and Liquid take no objectives, that they should be happy about it. I feel they've got to force something, but it feels a bit difficult, doesn't it? To just go and take a tower.
Yeah, because then you're fighting into what LGD want. Like, LGD are ready to fight. They want you to come underneath the tower if possible. And pushes like this, like, it's all it's going to end up doing is feeding Treants over to Somnus. Push him closer towards that BKB, and then he'll even be stronger, ready for the fight.
Yeah. They're going to struggle a little bit with killing a BKB carry this game, because Ember will deal next to no damage to the hero. And Drow's okay, but needs a little bit more in the tank before she can kill a BKB Gyro with 20 armor.
So is that the point when you look to see...
Oh, yeah, Miracle's ensnared.
Problematic, but he's got a Spirit. But look at Charles, he blinks directly forward, and Miracle has to actually jump himself back over again. He's got the movement speed, or does he? Another Spirit down over the river. No, it was just a little bit too short. X-Nova will see him for a small moment, but he couldn't actually get any kind of, like, disruption off. So Miracle has the run all the way around.
Chalice didn't want to Ravage. That shows something about their mindset, right? He wants to use it for team fights at this point. Because that would have been a kill on Ember, I think, if he Ravaged. But Or maybe he's a little bit cautious now because they overlapped it last time. He's like, uh-oh.
Xnova's caught out. He got one disruption, trying to cut free of the Sprout of Mind Control, but that's one very dead SD.
Easy kill. He got a ward down. Let's see if Liquid identify this and get rid of it. This is a fine ward. It's going to give them good information about how supports are moving across the map. And again, just buy them that time. This is definitely not Ame's best farmed Naga game, but for now, it's good enough. Liquid's 4K gold lead is definitely good, but you see it on the win expectancy graph, right? I'm not saying this graph is the holy grail of everything, but you know, a 4K lead minute 16, in some games this graph is 80%, and in this one it's 50. And it's because Gaben has seen a lot of games of Naga against Drow, and Gaben knows that Drow is good, or that Naga is good against Drow.
Yeah, if you don't get that early pressure, she'll end up just getting on top of you.
So it's good. It's good for now for Liquid, but you got to keep the ball rolling. You want to get Roshan. You want to get towers. They have one medallion on the Elder Titan, and do they have? Is anyone building Deso or something for towers or Roche? Not right now. I don't think they can.
You got an Atos on Kuro. He actually completed that a couple of minutes ago.
Interesting.
So you're getting Maelstrom for Mind Control, so he's very much focused on clearance and side push with Magical. Ame is working towards having a Manta style. As we get our Hex off, it's going to be Ember Spirit, very much caught out. FY, he could have actually committed the Finger of Death. Remember, that gives that plus 40 buff.
I think the cooldown's more important. I'm a big fan of not using it to just amp it up. You keep it, because the spell is more important than the plus 40 damage for the next time. It is, after all, a 160-second cooldown.
I suppose it's, still
if
the level 1.
If you have Ags and level 3 ult, I mean, fine. Steal whatever you want. But for now, keep the cooldown. Because now he might get a secondary kill because he saved it, perhaps, up top. And let's keep in mind with the gold graph that we talked about, the 5K lead for Liquid, that was with 0 towers taken from LGD. So in terms of raw farm, there's just more available for the taking on the map for LGD if they get a couple of towers eventually. So it's a little bit misleading in the sense that if you imagine these 2 towers are down, it's actually only a 1K gold lead. And that's not, it's not that much. Unless Liquid can control the map and actually use this tower control to control more of the map than 50%, LGD is doing fine.
Oh, here's your Rod of Atos going to work right on top of FY with the ET Stomp. Chalice is thinking about jumping forward, and he'll think twice about it. Also,
with that DD,
Mind Control, jumping himself forward, ensnared up. Chalice still has that Blink Ravage available. Mind Control's low. Xnova starts creating a couple of copies, but where's the extra help? Now the Blink Ravage comes in, right on top of Mind Control. Enough damage, it should be. He's actually hiding inside the Sprout, beginning his TP out. The Anchor Smash won't be enough damage. Mind Control will get away to safety. The ET Splitter, how much have they got? Ame just wants to reset things up for a second. And he'll TP away to safety, but the Rod of Atos, it cancels it! Kuro kept the range! Ame will die, and Miracle will claim his second kill for that fight. Oh, Kuro just knew exactly where to be. Right place, right spot. And they'll go in for Roshan. Ravage is down, they feel confident. No Song of the Siren either. Then no buyback for the Naga, so they can't even scout. But LGD, they want to contest. In they jump, hit the Anchor Smash. Somnus, what have they really got? The cooldown will begin with the Rod of Atos once again, controlling up Somnus. The homing missile goes towards Weeha, but Chalice, defensive disruption. Xnova trapped inside the Sprout. They've got a little bit more damage, not just a little bit, a hell of a lot more. Miracle jumps in for the double Searing Chains. A double stun will be nice, but he's still burning in the Flame Gun. Miracle, even while napping, is able to kill LGD.
Oh, that's so much more than what Liquid came for. They not only get the Roche, they get 3 extra kills, and I don't, you know, it's always easy to say afterwards, like if you're in that position, you want to try to defend the Roche, but if that call down completely whiffs, I think you get the hell out of there. You just like, you caught your losses. Let Liquid take the Roche. You messed up top in this team fight when you got your Naga caught, and you just have to let them have this control, because eventually Liquid will have to try to use this Aegis to go high ground, right? And that's the real challenge for their lineup. And now you made it that little bit easier for them by giving them 3 extra kills. You know, and all of them on Miracle. That's maybe not a little bit easier. That might be a lot easier.
Yeah, this is a hell of a lot easier. And the Aegis turns into, hello, Ame. You've found a friend. Caught inside the Sprout, the quick TP out, but is there another control? Mind Control, he'll go down. Ame has just enough damage thanks to the Illusion's Riptide. But normally you use this Aegis on a Drow Ranger to go for the tier 2 towers. You just clear them out, and yeah, Tide caught out. No Ravage available. Somnus goes in for the cooldown. Ember Spirit with the Finger of Death. FY plus 40. Somnus Flat cannoning out, but Kuro giving the extra life towards Weeha so he can stand his ground, but that's the BKB of Somnus, the full 10-second one burnt. And now the homing missile's also chasing Weeha. They want more. FY's coming in too. He can get the follow-up chain stun with the Observer Ward and Sentry. They see a hell of a lot of information too. X-Nova, what's he got? That nice extra cast range with the Force Staff. It pulls Weeha a little bit further away for a 3-man gust. But instead, right on top of Pugna, Chalice wants to help out as well. They still want the kill on Weeha. These homing missiles, they just never stop. Kuro will finally go down to the gyrocopter and they break the Aegis Immortal. But how much more does LGD have? Arme's waiting on the hillside. Weeha, he's just going to actually BKB and TP away under the cover of his ET splitter. So many huge abilities being burnt by Team Liquid just to run away from LGD. Yeah, but they have claimed all the tier 2 towers now.
And the Ravage is still available too for LGD. So if Liquid were to try to go now, they will not have the Aegis, they will not have the Drow BKB, and the Ravage is available. So I think LGD successfully bought themselves a little bit of time there, but like you said, Liquid's still taking some good towers, getting more progression toward that base. And now the next step is probably going to be the hardest. And if they pull that off, this is the kind of lineup that can win the game in one fight. Like, the game could hang in the balance now for 5 to 10 minutes, and if Liquid pull off a really good move, they can take 2 or 3 lanes of barracks with Pugna, Drow, and Nature's Prophet if buybacks are unavailable for LGD. But you got to get there, and getting there gets harder and harder as Naga's item progression continues. She's now going to try to take this mid-tier 1 tower.
Not just going to try, they're going to try and force a fight with Naga. Yeah. 4-man smoke up, they move through the northern front. Observers and sentries ready from X-Nova. So they'll try and establish a little of extra vision. But they're not finding the heroes they're looking for. All of Team Liquid, like Mind Control's up on the very far north lane, Miracle's down at the bottom. They're pushing in the sides. And Miracle's just trying to find that last bit of money to finish up his own BKB. And the same thing for Mind Control. He's just short of his BKB. Another 300 gold, and FY, he's going to find him in the trees. Mind Control around the corner. FY, yep, found him. Hex him up. Gyrocopter's going to come and help and give the homing missile so they can chain their 3 stuns, and it gives the extra information. On the edge of the cooldown, no, the rockets won't be able to connect. Mind Control, he just needs to get himself the hell out of here, but he can't just TP, or can he? He begins it. Have they got another stun? They have a Hex. Okay, they will stop him. But it seems to be wasting a lot of time from LGD when, again, they didn't want to kill Mind Control. They wanted to get more than that.
They actually got to him because they all have, like, Quelling Blades. There's a Quelling Blade on Gyro, there's a Quelling Blade on Shadow Demon, and they cut the trees to get in there. They have them against the Sprout, of course, and I would imagine we see some Force Staff coming out later. Lion is queuing one up. Shadow Demon might get one eventually, but he's not that rich. But yeah, they find that kill. Now, things, again, calming down a little bit. Naga is continuing to farm up. Gyrocopter is... I'm very curious to see what Somnus goes next, because I think there's different options here. The Ags would be the obvious choice, I suppose, but you could always try to get some of a different item build. Since you're not the primary carry in this game, you have the Naga on your team, so you can try to take different routes.
But it does feel like you need something a little bit earlier, so maybe the Ags is the best build, because you're getting a hard build up from Naga.
Yeah, Ags is absolutely fine, but it looks like he's queuing up the Butterfly, so he wants to have that evasion against the Drow. It helps, but you know, there's still the marksmanship.
And Wee's not really behind in items in scaling, so he can just finish up his Hurricane Pike and go into the MKB if he really feels the need.
Yeah.
But I do also like your idea of the Tesla Ranger. It's efficiency.
He's going to need it eventually. Liquid has got to play for one of 2 game plans. Either they try to win the game within the next 10 minutes and they build for that, or they're like, they don't believe that they can do it and they try to go super late. Because this game is winnable late game against Naga. It is, but it's really hard. But sometimes you just don't have the choice, right? And then that's what you go for. And you do see Weeha starting to do it. He's going Eggs. He's building up the Eggs. He's probably going to get a Maelstrom after that. So they have a way of dealing with Naga. They just don't feel like they will win it in time. And I agree with that assessment. I don't think it's possible, really, to brute force this, except if you bank on a big mistake from LGD.
That's interesting TP. Kuro just went right underneath the Observer and Sentry. Figure of Death comes out. Kuro's instantly exploded.
What was the plan there?
He must have thought they didn't have any kind of extra information, but that Observer Ward saw everything. Charles is going to go down. Weeha's damage output is huge. Is he going to Ravage? Weeha's still BKB'd. He didn't want to burn it. Somnus will burn his BKB and TP out.
Okay, that was the plan.
That was the... Is it?
I don't know. I mean,
explain said plan.
Sometimes you do bait a hero to set up a fight. It looked like he came in too early, but it still worked out in the end. I thought he was a little bit too quick on the trigger there. But, you know, they got the trade-off. They got a tide for a Pugna and held their tower. I think they're happy with that. BKB used on Gyro. Drow also used BKB though, so that's kind of an even trade-off, I suppose. But yeah, the big items that are needed on LGD right now are Force Staffs. That's actually just going to be super game-changing. You see how these fights are going. It's Drow running people down slowly, or they get chained. They can deal with Sprout. Like, Liquid's lineup actually just flat out struggles against Force Staff. It's like the best item against them. Look how many people are queuing it up now. Tide, Lion, and Shadow Demon all want Force Staffs.
And you know LGD's skill, like they're going to kite the hell out of this, and their positioning is going to be absolutely perfect. And if it's slightly wrong, Arme just song with the sirens.
Heart on Naga now.
Yep. Yeah, I'm actually kind of, like, Whis changed his mind. He's not going for the Aghanim's anymore. And I, just as a personal thing, I really prefer efficiency when you get the Maelstrom first and then go into the Aghanim's, but he's going to go for a Silver Edge instead.
It's against Tide, but I'm not sure I like this. Because, again, I think the problem will not be solved by doing this. Yeah, you're going to break the Tide, but they're going to have Force Staffs eventually, and they have Disruption too to outlast this
Somnus.
Silver Edge.
This is I know you got BKB, man, but you're very much alone, and you're surrounded by Team Liquid. All they need to do is get a proper stun. Here's your ensnare. There's your BKB, and yeah.
All you need to do is get a stun, guys. Just stun him.
Hey, BKB burnt down to 7 seconds. He's already teamed himself forward. ET trying to create a little bit of extra space with the splitter and Wrath of Nature. It bounces through.
What did he ravage?
Good question. Shiva. Miracle. Now jumping forward. Song of the Siren has to be used once again. Is there the Atos in range? There is not. Arme will walk it off just in case.
Can we get a replay of that? He might have been blink cancelled. Either that or he was trying to get Weeha on the edge of it in the tree line when he was TPing out.
We get a nice slow motion
that
replay.
Was
PGL production.
Maybe he got hit by one treant or something, but I don't think that breaks his dagger. He shouldn't take damage from that.
He's getting annoyed with it. It's like, alright, my 4-staff is done. Won't cancel anymore.
I don't know. That was very weird.
Actually have a small moment as Naga gets initiated almost the other way around. Chalice, no Ravage to work with, but it won't matter. Weeha up way too far. Miracle thought he had his target, but X-Nova, defensive disruption. Now finally Miracle will be able to get it up. The Sleight of Fist wears off with a Searing Chains. He's able just to spirit himself away, but Kuro won't be so lucky. Somnus wrapped around the northern side and gets the cleanup pick, and this is a big time. Roshan will spawn up in 36 seconds. So we have to watch the Roshan pit, because that's exactly what LGD want. They do not allow a second. So where is this Ravage? It's
I think someone was pinging the Drow. I think Naga pinged the Drow, and Chalice tried to get him on the edge. He got hit by Wrath of Nature. Okay.
That'll stop it.
All right. Because there was the ping coming out at the same time, and I was wondering, is he just trying to clip him on the edge with Dagger on cooldown? But if he did have Dagger ready, that would cancel him. So that's really nice for mind control, so that's what he was actually going for. That's a very, very high skill play. But yeah, in the end, Ravage goes down, but again, Liquid don't accomplish anything with this on cooldown.
Yeah.
On the flip side, they lose their Drow for Shadow Demon, and the Ravage will be ready again in 30 seconds. So.
Yeah, so either they do Roshan within the next 30 seconds, which it doesn't look likely. Liquid are at least aware he's alive thanks to the Trinket being killed. And they can really slow this down. This isn't something LGD can just slip in and take.
Mind control.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
TP forward. Feels like he's a little bit of bait here. He's got BKB available. X-Nova going to disrupt him up. Nether Ward is down. So FY does not want to burn that level 2 Finger of Death anywhere near it.
That was kind of a bold TP. He gets hexed, and then Soul Catcher fingered. He almost dies for full HP. You gotta be careful.
That's the Weeha spot from earlier today.
I mean, he did have a read on where the other cores were, I guess, so that's why he felt confident TPing in there, but not BKBing is very, you know, that's bold. He got away though, so all good.
Walks back to base. Just finish up the next item. He's still got to hold his buyback. His surplus is only like 1250, like 1200.
LGD,
but it doesn't matter. He's still going to buy up the Mjolnir.
Yeah. That makes him a really big kill now, because he has a lot of damage output and he also has no buyback. LGD don't know that, of course, but Smoke's going to break.
Miracle with the double damage rune. Look how much damage instantly just goes into X-Nova. They have the control over on Pugna. Able to find that kill. FY almost killed himself with it, but Miracle will finish the job. The buyback's coming in, SD and Pugna. Miracle's BKB's wearing off, but he's still got the DD rune. And look at what Prophet does. Instantly down, picking up the bounty runes, back into the money, back into the farm. They know LGD can't claim an objective.
This is how it often goes when it's not your own Force Staff. I think that was Chalice's Force Staff, but FY didn't have time to turn correctly. So yeah, it's the only Force Staff they have. So it was Chalice at that time. And he could have probably got away with that, but instead he does die. 1 buyback per team. Ravage still intact, that was not spent. And Liquid again pop BKB on Miracles. Now it's down to 8 seconds, and so is the Drows. And you gotta watch out for these BKB timings, because when they drop for both teams, there are some serious problems to play around for either side. There's the Ravage that Liquid need to play around, and there is of course, the Elder Titan Stomp that the LGD side have to play around primarily.
You talk about the balls on mind control from before. Like, he just TPs in to the top lane. It's like, hey guys, I'm just gonna sprout up Somnus. If you want a BKB and just escape from me, and then he just sits there and farms the wave instead.
He has a Clawing Blade.
Yeah.
For now, he can't keep the slot on Gyro, which means either he has to go Pike eventually instead of this to get out of Sprout, or he needs to accept sitting in Sprout. It doesn't feel good. Naga being annoying in mid.
As always. Rooting up Kuro. Kuro also went for the +3 Nether Ward health. Just anything to make sure you've got more problems.
Yep.
Somnus underneath the Radiant Observer Ward's gonna be careful. We able to get the silence, but the Hex on Nature's Prophet, the Finger of Death, instantly dead from mind control. Again, one of these TPs where you don't BKB. And LGD punish hard, and the Song of the Siren may allow LGD to punish even harder. Charles, he's ready for the Ravage, combining with the call down. Kuro, they want to knock him down. Charles actually holds off on the Ravage, and Weehaw will just BKB back out of this one. And maybe with Charles being forced up down, he could finally kill off with the Ravage. GH, he clips the back of Dro Ranger, but he has no more of a team. Miracle will come in and finish the job. Charles is down.
He lost a gem.
And they do lose the gem. 4 heroes down, and they'll probably lose Roshan. It's exactly where mind control is headed right now.
And that's... It's hard. It's so hard. You're watching this happening, and first of all, mind control at buyback, which is really important for the outcome of this fight, that this time when he dies, the buyback is ready. He got the gold from all this farming he did top. But Song into Ravage is hard to execute against 2 heroes with BKB. I think Chalice made the right call not Ravaging there, because both cores were going to BKB and he wants to wait them out. But at the same time, his entire team hard committed into that Song. So maybe you're better off Ravaging and killing off supports in that Ravage, and then hoping you can outlast the cores, or you just don't go in with this Song. But I think they felt confident that mind control didn't have buyback, and that's why they went for it. You're going to see it right here. He doesn't really want to Ravage this, because Weeha's going to BKB, and Miracle in the backline is also going to BKB. The Elder Titan cast no spells. He got instant hexed out of the Song, so that was not a problem either. But Ember and Drow just have a free fight. And if Chalice instant Ravages, they have that anyway. Yeah. Like, that would not have changed this at all. So it's about whether Pugna and Elder Titan casting 1 spell less each would have made a difference. And
Wame found mind control down the bottom lane. Sprout will come up. Remember, mind control does actually, they gave him the Aegis Immortal so he can be more aggressive as Kuro. Puts the Rod of Atos down FY, 4-staffed away by himself.
Yep, this time he's got it. And I think they're going to let Shadow Demon farm one top as well. Now, they did lose the gem. I think that was maybe arguably the biggest loss there.
Yeah, so it's on, actually, Kuro's got his own.
Is that his own? Wait, where's the other gem?
Yeah, no, there's one on Kuro.
I think it's the enemy team's gem.
Yeah, right? it's just not showing up as owned by somebody else.
I don't know why it didn't show that.
There's... Huh. Yeah, okay.
Weird. Okay. Well, I do believe that was originally bought by Xnova. I think he was the original purchaser of the gem.
Yeah. We'll go with that until proved differently. Aghanim Scepter is now done for the Gyro, so it took 34 minutes, but Somnus has arrived with that, and he's going to go Satanic.
He did stop for a butterfly in the way. So
he did.
Give him a break.
I wasn't being any pressure on him. He's fine. He's fine. Everything's okay, remember? You're playing a Naga game. A Naga with 25,000 net worth, and going in for a scythe as her next item.
Yeah. And this next item on Gyro is going to... See, that's another problem Liquid are going to run into, that they're probably going to need scythes themselves, because if they can't reliably lock down heroes, when this Gyro gets Satanic, I don't think you kill him, actually. Even if Drow is just non-stop hitting him, if he activates Satanic with the side gunner running and he hits one with his regular hero too, I think he's just going to sustain through everything and Naga will get a free fight. So you got to have a way of isolating and killing heroes, and currently...
It's definitely not coming from mind control. He's gone full combat. He's gone AC, the Mjolnir. He's finished his BKB as well.
I think he's going Hex next. I don't know.
Well, his AC sitting back in the stash, so he needs to go home at 1 point for it, but it has to be Hex next, right? Either that or he goes full DPS. Like, he's gone plus 40 attack speed, the 10 armor, the 30 damage. This is one of those games when remove teleport cooldown and you just basically go like Desolator and start ripping apart buildings as well. Or actually MKB.
Yeah.
Miracle's going to enter in the bottom. Speaking of buildings, tier 3 towers under attack, and LGD feel a little late to this fight. Miracle.
Ooh.
That's
that was actually close to connect. I don't know if they would have tried anything with that, but if that Earth Spike lands, perhaps they can follow through. He could try to open with Hex. I actually think he was in range. How many 4-steps do the Radiant have? They have 0? They have 1. They want an Element. And a Python drone. Not happening then. That's fine.
Alright, My Control's back to his split push game already.
Yep. It's what he got to do. He's played a great game so far, in my opinion, on Nature's Prophet. He's been doing his job. I'm just curious to see what he queues up next in his quick buy, because it's going to say a lot about what Liquid's approach is to the game. Now that Weeha has still not gone for this Axe, they feel like they can deal with Naga. That's got to be Miracle's job. Did I say Miracle for draw? Weeha? Yeah, or whatever. Ember's going to deal with Naga. I think that's the call here, that we think Ember can solve this together with a Nature's Prophet Mjolnir. That's enough for the Naga for now.
Well, he's going Shivas into Aghanim Scepter for the Ember Spirit. And still nothing in the quick buy for Mind Control, but I'll let you know when he's got something in there. Kuro's on the dewarding mission. Aghanim Scepter.
Yep.
On Pugna, so all about survival.
Killing off illusions with the Scepter cooldown 0. That's what he wants. He's just going to spam it on Naga in the fight and try to kill as many Elos as possible.
I like this pressure from Miracle. He did it on the bottom lane, now he's up on top. Clean up the creep wave, Spirit back out again. Always force a TP back from LGD. So LGD, as they're rapidly approaching multiple heroes to the tier 2 tower on bottom, they won't feel confident.
The classic Naga
oh
TP
my
back
god, what is this? My Control, get the hell out of there. His disruption comes up. He's still got BKB TP, and that's exactly what he's going to do, and there's nothing they can do. My Control will complete. Meanwhile, Chalice and Somnus. Miracle's coming up behind them with the double damage room, but a quick blink away from Chalice and then walk straight back over to him. That's the play. As Miracle, he'll spirit straight past Somnus, but Mind Control, he's joined the fight. The Hex is out, combining with a Ravage! Goodbye, Miracle! Goodbye, Mind Control! The Aegis Immortal will pop. The rest of Liquid was thinking of coming over, but they're going to leave him for dead. A perfect timing stun from FY, and that is a dead Mind Control.
I don't think Miracle accounted for the Hex on Naga. I'm not even sure he knew it was
in
play.
That was the first reveal of the Hex.
Yeah, when he was defending against the split push top, didn't he have it yet? Maybe they didn't click him. So he TP'd back to defend against Nature's Prophet, which in itself is funny that Naga TP's back to defend against split push. When you think about it, that's kind of usually the guy causing the trouble, not the one solving it. But yeah, either way, Miracle was not aware of that Hex, and that is costly. They know Nature's Prophet doesn't have buyback. They're going to force this really hard. And
Ember will have to buy back.
He has to buy back if they want any hope of holding this lane. They can choose to sacrifice it and keep the buyback, because the other 2 lanes have tier 2 still standing.
But what are you going to do here? Like, Naga's on the front lines. He's still got Song of the Siren. She's going to run hard. They find the Nether Ward over in the tree line. Decrepifying will make it a little longer before they can kill it.
I think sacrificing this lane is the right call here.
Yeah, you have to let it go.
You have to let it go.
At least the tier 2 towers, he said, like, no, they're up. You're not going to have the push come in. If they want to force the issue, GH will be happy to hit him with a phone book. Because this is the other downside for LGD. Like, they group up and they then play into ET's area.
That's why the BKB of the Gyro is so important, that it gets used effectively. Because that's the one line of defense he has against this Elder Titan. And once that goes down, it can get really scary. But yeah, really good from LGD here. They punish just one mistake from Liquid, and that's a really big one. It's a very costly mistake. They were clawing their way back into the game, kind of, in terms of win expectancy, and now we're back to where we were 5 to 10 minutes ago with
75%.
LGD just firmly sitting on the map.
A little bit more than that now. It's about 80-85% now.
You should never count out Drow, though, in this kind of game. Like, when it goes late game enough, Drow becomes a very magical hero almost with the cooldown reduction talent on 25. You can do wonderful things. Everything has half the cooldown, including your aura to split push waves. But for now, he has a way to go to get there.
Do you actually think you'd go for that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're always 50%?
I don't know.
Like, I like the precision aura just for, like, the assistance that can be given.
I think I've seen it literally in one pro game ever, the other talent.
Okay.
One time. Maybe. Maybe it was a PUBG.
Oh, Kuro's coming out. He really wants that rune. The Hex comes in from the real army. No protection. Kuro, he has the Aeon Disc, and FY wasn't really ready for it. He'll end up going down. Song of the Siren didn't protect anything. Arme just wants to walk it off, but Mind Control, as well as Miracle, they want to try and fight.
Nice disc reveal. That's super good value. He blocked a finger with it and got a kill on the line. Very nice. Now what's next?
Roshan, 100%. He may respawn in 10 seconds time, and everyone's just going to watch it.
Yeah.
Because this will be the third Roshan as well, so we'll have our extra booty.
Ember gets the Shiva, so Miracle is still progressing in the way of dealing with Naga, with both Radiance and Shiva.
My God, with Mind Control doing this, I'd love it if he actually had a Shadow Blade. It's just so we can do this split push a little bit more efficiently.
He's going MKB. I don't know, man. I really feel like they need a Hex. Like, I really stand by that. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're actually doing a pretty damn good job, in my opinion, in fights, but they're suffering from lack of lockdown. They're almost relying on LGD to go into them and overextend a little bit, rather than create their own opportunities.
And with this build, Mind Control really just needs to be amped. That's what this feeling is. I actually think this may be the second pro game that you actually get to see the plus 25%.
It's possible that they're just going to try to stand their ground. Like, they're going to pop BKBs, just stand still and hit stuff.
Yep.
But, you know, you can get kited by the Force Staffs. And there's, it's pretty tricky, I think, for Liquid right now.
Mind Control again, like, as the real Naga Siren coming in. Ensnare is up, and you'll start to see just how much damage can be done. BKB Sprout TP out.
Good thing he has 41.
And it is.
It is really tanky.
This continues to burn the BKB charges. As Gyrocopter coming in very, very close. Ember Spirit's going to get the Searing Chains off. Draw Ranger, so much just BKB's up. Mind Control, hello! He just jumped in. He's sprouted, but he's actually locked inside the Roshan pit with Somnus. The Finger of Death will give the extra damage. Mind Control's down.
What?
And Roshan is up. Good question. Good question. What the hell indeed?
This guy has no chill, man. It's true.
Oh, now they find Miracle with a Ravage.
No.
Chalice hit so hard. Miracle's down with no buyback available. And Armee's in the back lines. They're catching out all these cores. Weeha, he has to BKB and tries to push him back over. Somnus will walk back in again. You've got 3 LGD players licking their wounds in the back lines, but it won't matter when you've got the tanky Immortal Armee on the front lines, killing off Weeha. Consume the cheese all you want. Take away the rest of your life into the follow-up stun. One after one after one. Team Liquid, they fall down. The struts around this house. A triple kill, an ultra kill for Somnus. They'll go back, they'll finish Roshan, they'll take the Refresher Shard, they'll take the top towers, the bottom, all the top towers, and they'll probably even take the game.
All the bottom towers.
All the towers.
All the Refresher Orbs. They'll take everything. Yeah. They can get Megas here, for sure. I think going Roche would be just flat out a mistake. It's not necessary. They know the buyback is, or actually, I'm not sure they know exactly the buyback status. I think they know that
Is Mind Control dead again?
Drow doesn't have it based on items. Again.
The Ensnare's going to come in. Armee needs a couple of extra friends.
Okay.
He's going to create a couple.
Okay.
Is he?
Yeah. But,
He is.
But
Top's
but
not.
really, it's the base is not okay. So
And Armee can just instantly rejoin this as he TP'd out towards the shrine. And they're just going to go and, like, yeah, take the mid-racks, get the mega creeps up. We've seen teams come back from mega creeps, but this will be a surprising one.
Slightly different conditions.
Yes, slightly.
By the way, I want to point out what LGD just did. I love this. It's one of my pet peeves that a lot of pro teams do, and LGD didn't do it there. They left the Shadow Demon with the creep wave to hit the range tracks instead of staying there with all heroes to make it as fast as possible. So they send the majority of the damage that they need to the mid-racks so that they can kill them as fast as possible while top is taken down by just a creep wave and a Shadow Demon. And that effectively saves them maybe 5 to 10 seconds here that, you know, could have made a difference for Liquid's possibility of defending. A lot of the times you see players just tunnel vision, okay, we're getting racks, then we're getting the other racks, and then we start in the next lane. But, you know, this is just flat out, just objectively a better way of doing it. So I love seeing that efficiency from LGD coming out. It shows really good.
This is going to be the last fight.
Communication as well.
This is totally going to be the last fight. LGD don't even start Roshan. Like, they've chipped him down a little bit, but they know Liquid will come to try and contest it. They know they'll smoke up. MKB done, even got an Aeon Disc over on the SD, so getting these early pickoffs is even harder. ET with a Spirit, able to get the stomp off. Jarek up to court, 4 heroes, retreat back,
BKB,
Miracle, instantly Hex back up, and Finger of Death, he will just explode. They force-stab him out. Kuro's giving some life and Somnus on 160 HP. He's still got the Satanic available, now he'll trigger it. The SD will disrupt him up, it's actually wasting time with the Gust back. They're going to kill off Somnus, as well as the Lion and SD. Team Liquid, they're going to try and take Roshan. Buyback comes in from Gyrocopter. Ravage still available from Chalice. He'll jump in. He'll Railhead, the whole kit and caboodle. There's some life. Weeha with the gust back. He needs to push back still, but Koro and Miracle retreating out through the north. They gave him the life, but look at Naga. She's charging forward. She wants to bring down Weeha. Mind Control is just trying to walk this off. May the Song of the Siren. It's actually saving his life. Weeha almost killed him. Have they got anything to really get him? At the end of this song, the heart's kicked in. They get the life. The Finger of Death from FY. Puts down the Dro Ranger. Mind Control can TP back home to safety. Ember Spirit can buy back too. But can they defend? LGD can go either back for Roshan. You've got the cooldown talent now for Mind Control. He's going to be everywhere. But he needs to be home. It's in trouble.
I actually can't believe how good that fight was from Liquid, how much they accomplished. He jumped in with a, oh, hang on, Miracle.
Yeah,
He's getting
hexed up.
hexed.
Instead, is there a 4-star? Yeah, there is. They'll get him back inside the base. As Gyrocopter trying to have his own little battle. The tier 4 towers have finally dropped down. That's a huge creep wave. They need to try and fight this one back. Gyrocopter will just BKB, finish off the Radiant Ancient. That's what they need to do. GH can't do anything. Fingers down. Mind Control trying to kill off someone, but the Satanic gave him all the life to survive this. And there's little to nothing that Miracle can do. Even the Rocket's able to hit. That is GG. LGD in 46 minutes, playing game 1 of this 2-game series.
Man, that Roche fight was hype. Actually, wow. So what happens is Miracle jumps.